Hey guys, and welcome back to the final episode of Draw with T. Or possibly the final episode of this series being in this form. There's a chance I may come back and do something like a season 2. I'm not sure. There may or may not be a retrospective on the series following this. I don't know the mind of future Tegan. I am only present Tegan. But let's get on to what I'm actually drawing. So today I'm doing something maybe not all that impressive, but something I find absolutely hilarious. For my final episode, I'm finally designing an end card for this series that has not had an end card since all 99 previous episodes of it. I had at one point wanted to make an end card, but that kind of fell to the bottom of my list of things to do for this series. It was more important to reshoot an intro with the new sketchbook. It was more important to streamline my creation process. It was more important to make the actual art for the series. And there were just a lot of other things that seemed more important than making this image that I felt a lot of people wouldn't even see, because I think a lot of people tune out at the end of a video, and I couldn't imagine people watching more than 30 seconds of anything I produced, so it just kind of sat there. And then when I started losing interest in this series, it definitely fell to the end side. But I've decided, you know what, why not? I don't know who's watching this, if anybody, but I think they're the type of person that would find it absolutely hilarious that I end the series by drawing the end card that this series hasn't had. So here I am just doing thumbnails of designs, trying to think up, well, what is this card going to be? Because I didn't really have an idea, and, I don't know, is it going to be a drawing of a book? Was it going to be a drawing of a character? Was it just going to be simple graphics? I was almost going to do simple graphics, but then you can see here I'm starting to sketch kind of like an open book shape. And that's when I kind of realized, the start of this series, the intro is like, it's like this pile of stuff that I throw aside, and then I plop down my sketchbook, and then I go to town drawing stuff, and it's always been that way. So why not explore the end card actually just being a pile of stuff, just neatly arranged, so I can overlay the YouTube thingies, and there we go. Which wasn't the original plan at all. I had every intent of making some kind of graphical thing or drawing something for it, because this is the Draw with T series, not the Tegan arranges her desk stuff in a design-pleasing way for YouTube series. And no, that's not the next project I'm going to be doing, thank God. But that just goes to show that sometimes when you sit down and you think you know what a project's going to be, it'll change on you. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it works for this series. I think it does work visually, though it doesn't really work for an episode, but I'm doing it anyways, because this is episode 100, and it's not that I don't care, it's just that there's not really anything happening for this series after this, possibly. If there is, it's going to be kind of billed as series 2, and it's going to be a little different, because as great as this was, it's time to move on, try some new stuff, make something fit a little better in my current schedule, because I've kind of moved on from this, learned some things, and I want to stretch my legs, try some newer stuff. Working on this series has kind of hemmed me into it, and I haven't been able to grow because I need to produce, and I need to output it. And I know I'm the only one holding myself to that standard, but it would be almost worse to pick at this series and drag it out. I'd much prefer just to get 100 episodes done, say I did the thing, and then go move on to something kind of different. That's just how I'm feeling. Anyways, here you see that I've kind of developed the thumbnail to be sort of this composite image with like my sketchbook on the left, or some kind of writing on the left, and kind of a coffee cup on the right to kind of hold my avatar, I guess, my icon. Maybe I'll have my phone in there, definitely the pencils, and all I'm trying to do is kind of mimic the feeling of what it's probably been like to watch this series. The little pieces that you've probably seen in screen, the pencils I use, the drinking cup, the coaster, those sort of little iconic things that have either purposely or accidentally made their way onto the screen, just to kind of show them there. And I kind of feel like that was a good idea to do. Like, this is a good idea for the series end card. Even though it's not art, it's kind of weird. Here I'm trying a few other concepts, but at this point, I've kind of come up with the idea. So we're going to now switch to something a little different here. This is me sort of roughly arranging things. And this is version 1, where I'm just kind of shuffling the things. There's the sharpener, the coaster with the T on it, all the various colored pencils that I'm prone to using, along with my, of course, iconic sketchbook. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll have my phone on there. I don't know, even though I don't think my phone ever really got seen in the series. Not intentionally, maybe have a sheet of paper there so I can write something on it. And I was planning on writing something in Sharpie on it, but my handwriting is absolutely terrible, and, I decided maybe not. Just kind of laying things out. Well, maybe I want my icon here, maybe I want a thing here. And now we're back into Photoshop. And here all I've done is I took a screenshot of my YouTube Studio end card editor thingy that I don't really know the name for, and I kind of laid things out in a rough manner. I'm like, well, okay, let's take this screenshot. Let's put it in a 1080 by 920 ratio little image, which is the size that my videos play at. And now I've got access to the borders and the size of the squares and stuff that YouTube uses. So then here I'm just basically making squares, little mock-up squares I can move around. And then I'll do one for the circle, and then that'll basically give me the elements I need and some idea of how to move them around. I should also say by the time I'm recording this audio, I still don't know if this is going to work or not. It could blow up in my face, but I'm hoping it does work. You will see if it does or doesn't when you get to the end card of this episode, which I'm sure many of you may not, if there are any of you actually even watching at this point. But yeah, there we go. So now you can see here, and I'm just not impressed that the coaster is that off. And I was actually almost debating about using Photoshop just to nudge the coaster down, and I realized that just really wouldn't work for it. So it's back to the drawing board, and I nearly forgot to hit record on this. That's why we're already partially underway here in rearranging stuff. So this time I'm trying to arrange things so that darn coaster will be within YouTube's whatever border limits, whatever you want to call them. And again, just kind of, there's a piece of paper there that may or may not have writing, a sharpener, the erasers, the colorful pencils, the the Huion tablet pen, which is a new addition near the end there, the sketchbook, just the stuff, and I'm just kind of arranging it in such a way that seems to make sense. Putting the phone down, and, just moving stuff around, taking some screenshots, just trying some different arrangements, because I don't want to come back and do this again if I can just, try a few different things. I decided to do screenshots rather than phone pictures or anything because it's the same camera that records everything, so I knew it'd be in the same style. If there's any fuzziness or weird lighting issues, it would be the same weird lighting issues and fuzziness that you see in the series, which sounds like a bad thing to have, but I wanted to go more for design unity than quality, I guess, at this point. So here I'm just kind of arranging stuff, just like, where do I want this, where do I want that, how does this look here, how does this look there, and then I, turn that off, and then I decided to bring in the text that I've been using, and I decided, what the hell, I know it's the final episode and no one's really going to see this, but I'm going to put my social media links or something on this end card, because maybe I'll come back and use this. Maybe this series will kind of continue in some form where I'll just keep using the same intro and outro because maybe I'll be lazy. Regardless, I considered it practice too. Just maybe I'll make a better end card in the future. It'd be good to treat this like something a little bit more finished, even though I was kind of raring to have this all done. From here, it's not anything all that exciting, so I'm speeding up the footage a little bit more than everything else. All I'm doing is just massaging some text, making it look pretty, and then adding the actual information there. Decided to only list my TikTok and Instagram. I do have a Facebook and a Twitter, but I haven't been on Twitter in forever, and Facebook, I just don't really post anything on there because the organic reach seems kind of dead, and I'm just not producing anything that's really worth the time and effort of posting it. Nobody's going to find me there. Kind of want to wait for when I'm doing something a little bit more impressive, something that says a little bit more before I return there. Also, I'm kind of tired of my family finding me and being like, good art, Tegan, from Aunt Sue or Grandma so-and-so. Not that my grandmas are on Facebook, but the typical Facebook family, very distant family, and as cool as it is that they get to see my art, I don't want to take a couple hours or an hour a week to make sure that I'm posting on Facebook when there's some other places that I'm doing much better on, like TikTok and Instagram. And yeah, that's kind of it, guys. I can't believe the series is ending. I may do a retrospective episode. I expect myself to at some point. But thanks for coming along for the ride. Like, comment, and subscribe if you're a madman. And the end card itself is coming up here, so hopefully everything works well. It has been a fun ride, guys. See you in the next project. Have a good day. See you around.